Hey, we're back with Baker+Brown.
And today we're talking about our nice list and some other great information.
Hey, I'm Kim Baker, CEO of the Gallatin Area Chamber of Commerce, and we're back today for episode 4. I think we're getting the hang of it.
We're working on it. I'm Paige Brown. I'm the mayor of the city of Gallatin. We're certainly enjoying doing this. And today we're going to step out a little bit more and talk about what we think is our nice list and share some other good information about Gallatin as well. But Kim had the idea of doing a nice list, and I've bumped into some things in the last several weeks that I think really bear repeating and sharing with you. You may have seen them on my social media or the city's, but have you got any nice list things? You want me to jump in?
You start, because
Okay,
I think I know. I think I know what you're going to talk about.
Don't want to be redundant. Well, the first thing that I really want to bring some attention to is probably about a month ago at Station Camp High School, one of the teachers there, the Sumner County Student Leadership Council, and a host of great volunteers did their very first Every Kid is a Hero Day. And this was a special event held at Station Camp High School for special needs kids in the communities, kids with, different experiences than others. And, to have activities that they can participate in, feel a part of, and feel proud of being able to execute. And so our police department was there, our fire department set up like this giant bowling alley. They had big chess squares, they had hook tosses, they had all kinds of things. But the coolest thing about the day was the founder of this comic book concept. It's called Starfish Comics. And his concept is that every comic book stars the kid who's reading it. So this wonderful man brought his company to, and he was a part of the organization of the event. The teachers were friends, they were all buddies, and they decided this was going to be a great thing. So he did a comic book for each one of those students that participated in Every Kid is a Hero Day. And so that just made me really happy. It was a neat event. And then, not long after that was the Night to Shine prom.
Oh, yeah. That's so neat that happens in our community.
Do you know much
I
about it?
I know a little bit
about
it.
It's part of the Tim Tebow Foundation, and it happens at Northfield Church in Gallatin. And it's a prom for special need prom kings and queens. And
what about, I saw a couple weeks ago you delivered a proclamation for the little girl at Union.
Oh, yes, absolutely. I'm going to mention that. I'm going to mention that, and I'm going to ask something of you all, too. But, yeah, that was a surprise. I just got a message one day from Lance Taylor, who's the principal at Union, and he said, hey, I just got some great news. Can you be here tomorrow? And when he told me what it was, I said, absolutely, I'm going to be there. And so what it was a young girl from Union Elementary. I don't even know what grade she's in.
I think she's 10 now.
And her name is Lucy, and she has been making what she calls love blankets for people literally all over the world. People let her know about a need, someone that needs to feel cared for or is ill or needs some encouragement. And Lucy makes them a blanket and sends it to them. And you can find them on Instagram. It's Lucy's Love Blankets. And Prince Taylor's, he would like that. Principal Taylor's challenge to everyone that day was to love like Lucy. And so we talked among the student body about the power of being kind, and that you don't have to do something necessarily as big as Lucy. It can be as small as, opening the door for someone, or I told them to smile at people older than me because it really mattered to them. But he challenged them that. I started talking to her mother and asking her, how do they finance this? And she said a lot of times people will donate the cost of shipping these blankets. And I said, but you buy all of this fabric and everything. She's like, oh, yes. Every time we have coupons or there's a big sale, we go to...
she puts a little heart on all of them.
She puts a little heart on them, and it has her name on it. It's a big heart with a little heart inside of it that says Love Lucy. And they're all flannel blankets that she makes, and they buy their materials at Joann's and Michael's, I guess. But if anybody feels kind of moved to support them, that would be a great contribution to someone, because they're pretty much financing it themselves.
And supporting a young entrepreneur, that's awesome.
But she doesn't make any money.
She's not. But
she's
she
like
definitely
a young social activist.
Yes,
and she's really making. And if you go to her Instagram, you can see the blankets that she's made. The people they have gone to. A lot of times they'll submit pictures of themselves with the blankets, and a lot of sick children, a lot of
We need to have Lucy on the show.
We should have Lucy on the show. She would be
guest.
great. And she was just so sweet and kind and humble and frankly kind of uncomfortable with the attention. But it was well-deserved, and I was so delighted to do it. Another person that I honored recently is another real sweetheart in our community, and that's Chloe Warren.
Oh, yeah.
And we know her mother, Jessica, because she was involved with the chamber a lot at one point. But Chloe is a senior at Gallatin High School, and she's been doing pageants for a few years. She was actually the Miss Sumner County Outstanding Teen. She was the fairest of the fair, and she was just crowned, I guess a couple months ago now, the Tennessee Miss Fairest of the Fair. So she'll be traveling the state of Tennessee, talking about her platform, which is This Little Light of Mine. And Chloe, who I've had the opportunity to really get to know over the last several years, is amazing. She's always so sweet. She's always smiling.
On.
And she's always encouraging others, and she's always just really sharing compliments and asking questions and wanting to be who she seems to be. And I think she's truly
she's
genuine.
Very authentic.
And
I think those are good examples.
Yeah, those are good examples.
I don't really have anything to add, but you mentioned how Mr. Taylor encouraged all the kids to just do something, even if it's just smile. And this is kind of silly, but I was actually, there was an article that was about me in the paper a few weeks ago, which you and I are in the paper all the time. But I didn't think much of it. It was a press release about a new board I'm on, and so I got a few letters in the mail, and I was like, oh, and I opened them. I think I got 4. I got 4 letters from community members who clipped out the article and just wrote me a sweet note.
That's so sweet.
It made me feel special, and it just, I think we forget how often just saying something or smiling or just sending a note can make somebody feel special.
That reminds me of another nice gesture, and I bet you got a letter from this person. But there's an entrepreneur, but he's also a well-known attorney in Nashville who lives in our community. His name's Michael Zinzer. You may know the Copper Still Wine and Spirits. I do. And he always takes the time to send a note of thanks or congratulations or a suggestion to various members of the community, whether they're with the chamber or if they're elected to the state legislature or me as mayor or just different people who are recognized in different ways. And I just think that's so admirable that he, someone that really has a big job takes the time to say thank you or congratulations. And it makes me think, you need to do better, because I try to do some of that, but I fail miserably.
I know.
But I respect those who do it well.
He does do it really well. And his office, actually, he just relocated. He left Nashville and came to Gallatin.
Oh,
so
that's
he's in the Hunt Club now.
Better news.
That's exciting.
That's exciting news. So share your nice list nominations with us. And it means a lot to me that the city of Gallatin was named the nicest place in America in 2017. Now, it frustrates the fire out of me whenever somebody's unhappy with something on social media and they have to bring that up because, just because we're the nicest place in America doesn't mean that everybody who lives here acts nice all the time. And we're not we're a real life community, and people have bad days, and I suggest that you deal with that by extending grace, not saying that we're a horrible community, but it really does mean a lot to me that we had that designation back then.
Yeah.
And I think it was well deserved because our people are kind and loving and caring.
Absolutely. I think, through a lot of the things we've done, the city's worked on, like with the branding and now the strategic and comprehensive plan. That's one thing I think we hear over and over again is the people of Gallatin are nice. What do you love about Gallatin? We love the people. And they're just, they're like they're like nobody else anywhere else.
Yeah, and it's a culture. And it's been interesting to me to watch people that come here from other parts of the country. And actually I lived in a condo development for a couple of years, and there were a lot of people from outside of the area that had moved here. And like I do, I interviewed them. What brought you here? What do you like? But it was so interesting to watch them really want to be like us. They didn't come here and expect us to be like where we came from. They actually come here, emulate, and help perpetuate kind of that culture of kindness, and that matters. And that's how we do it long term. People all the time are, as you know, complaining about growth, and growth. There's no way that we can control it, and we keep saying we're going to talk about growth, and we really haven't delved into it. And I don't know if today's the day to do that or not.
Maybe not today.
But yeah, because we're talking about nice stuff. But
some growth is nice.
Growth is not. not something that you can effectively stop without destroying your community, and it's not something that you actually get to manage each piece of, because as I've said before, it's other people's money, and we have limited control of it. But I truly believe, and this is where I was going, I truly believe that the way that we are going to maintain a special community culture is being those true people who care and know and reach out and say hello and open doors. That's how we're going to maintain a small city attitude or essence or texture or whatever word it is you want to use.
Yeah, culture. I mean, I think, and that's one of the things we really want to do at this show, is we want to tell those stories. Like a lot of what you just shared, those are things we've experienced lately, but we want to hear from you. So we actually went ahead and set up an email address. It's baker.brown@gallatintn.org, and I'll write it in the post too so you can see it. But we want you to submit pictures, videos, stories about people being nice, and it could just be somebody opened the door, or I dropped a stack of books and they helped me pick them up. But we want to feature those, and we've actually got these really cool stickers. I know you've seen them. They match the shirt. They say, "Be nice, it's the Gallatin way." And so as we feature these stories, we're going to make sure you get a sticker for letting us share your story.
Yeah, they're fabulous. So send them in to us.
Yeah.
Well, it's time now to talk about another of my favorite books about the city of Gallatin, or something related to the city of Gallatin. This is a book that was given to me years ago. I honestly don't know where all you might find it. I don't think it's for sale, but they would have one certainly at the church, one at the library, and I'm sure there's some people that would be happy to share their copies with you. But this is a book called Up from a Log Cabin. It's a history of First Baptist Church, 1865 to 2003. It was written by Velma Brinkley, who is a local historian, a huge proponent of preserving history in our community, and a member of the First Baptist Church. But this church tells the story of, this book tells the story of First Baptist Church when it was started in a log cabin on Winchester Street, and how they have grown through the years. And it has some amazing photos in here that go back, I wish I could tell you the history of it, but that church, to be as old as it has had very, very few preachers. So it's a great history to read the stories, to learn who the people are that have been involved there. That church is very, very important in our community because they do a lot of things. They certainly support us a lot and are very meaningful to a lot of our community. And this is a great story about it.
I've never seen this.
Yeah, you'll have to check it out. You can borrow mine.
Borrow yours?
You can borrow mine.
I might. And if you don't know Velma, she is an absolute treasure.
She is.
And so passionate and just so interesting. I love listening to her speak.
We have the cemetery committee, that we're doing.
Oh, yeah.
And we're working on preservation and restoration of our historic Gallatin City Cemetery. And she said, "I'm on too many committees." I said, "Okay, but we really need your help with this one project." And she said, "Okay." And sure enough, she has written the verbiage that's going to go on a monument that is going to talk about a part of our cemetery where we have a large number of African Americans buried. Apparently when they were buried, and some were actually slaves, apparently when they were buried they didn't necessarily mark the grave. They may have marked the graves, but it may have been with a wooden marker, or it may have been in a different way. And so those graves were unmarked. And a couple of years ago we had some ground penetrating radar to go and identify all of the graves and to mark them with GPS so that we know where those graves are. And it's not feasible for us to mark each individual grave. We don't know who's there.
Right.
So we're going to do a monument that pays tribute to the people who are buried in that part of the cemetery. And she wrote the most beautiful verse to go on that. And so I love that. My little Velma story.
Yeah,
so,
I love Velma.
She's fabulous. Absolutely fabulous.
Well, in addition to talking about events, I guess, we've got some stuff coming up. The cemetery, you made me think of that when you mentioned the low turnover they've had of preachers. There was one that was portrayed in the cemetery tour last year, and
Vertrice.
Yes, and he was the star of the show.
Because he sang.
Yeah, he did sing.
He sang, and he had an amazing voice. And so I think he would have been the first. So
I think that was right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty cool. Well, let's talk about some upcoming events before we say goodbye today. Getting ready to get into that spring season when so much is going on in our community.
Flips on high gear.
Yeah, flips on high gear. Yeah, and very soon the farmers market will be opening, and
just a few weeks.
April Main Street Festival will be, or Square Fest will be happening, and then there'll be time for Third Thursday, and we'll be out in the garden and at the ballpark and at the lake, and fun time of year. You can tell I love that time of year. But coming up in March.
Next week is a very busy week in Gallatin. A lot of fundraising events. Great. We have so many nonprofits in our community that deserve our support and do so much for our community, and a lot of those are next week.
We have so many wonderful community members that support our nonprofits, and we have a very, very generous community, and because of that we have a better community. But I do want to mention that there's Red Cross blood drive. You know, Red Cross always needs blood. I used to always give, but I'm not eligible to give any longer. But happening on the 5th of March at the Civic Center, they'll be doing a blood drive over there from 1 until 6 p.m. And then also on that day, you've got the Gallatin Shalom Zone's tribute dinner. That's happening at Epic Event Center. And then
I can't see that far, Paige.
I have fancy
She has notes.
multifocal contacts.
Oh, I don't have those. And so also that night, so we mentioned the Shalom Zone. There's also the CASA raffle. It's registered at the state as, you know, you can only do so many raffles in so many areas. And anyway, so it's a $10,000 reverse raffle. Legal
raffle.
Legal. We hope if you're having raffles, they're registered with the state.
And CASA is court-appointed special advocates, and so it's an organization where volunteer advocates represent children who don't have a voice in our court system. So it's a very valuable resource in our community.
So $10,000 reverse raffle. I think the tickets, I don't know if they have any left, but it's $150, 2 people. You get some drink tickets, and then you get entered to win money. So it's a fun event. The Shalom Zone, you know, last week, or was it the week before, we talked about More Than Rivals. And that's one of my favorite parts about that, is that you can actually go to the Old Union High School, which is the Shalom Zone, and they serve as a tremendous resource for that community. And they house a lot of the nonprofits in our area too.
So that's the benefit for the Shalom Zone. But what she's talking about is the Shalom Zone Resource Center that money is raising to support. And there are many entities that are housed there that particularly help kind of an underserved community. They also do a fabulous summer camp for kids and other great programming in our community.
So that event next week helps with that. And then, there's a birthday on here. It's next week. Is there another event next week?
The
United Way.
Oh yeah, the United Way.
Next Friday.
It's on here. It's got a name on it. Bloomin Bash. Sumner County's Bloomin Bash happens at Long Hollow Gardens on Friday, the 6th of March, and that's from 6 until 10. You can contact the United Way. That's a fun event to to go to. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. If you've never been to any of these events, don't feel like you shouldn't just go, because you should. People will welcome you. They'll be delighted to, if you're new to the community, they'll be delighted to meet new people, and you'll be helping out a great cause. So I would encourage you to do that.
At the Bloomin Bash, I hear that they'll have a celebrity bartender too.
Oh, would that be you?
Maybe.
When I met Kim, she was a bartender, and now she's a celebrity bartender. So.
That's what they say.
No, actually, you were a nanny when I met you, but you had been a bartender. I was a bartender too, way back in the day. And then on Saturday the 7th is the Green and Gold Gala. So that benefits Gallatin High School. That's something that I work on each year. Actually, each year. This is our 2nd year, and I don't work nearly as hard on it as other people on the committee.
Do you have to wear green and gold at the event?
You do not have to wear green and gold. Last year I wore blue.
Do a lot of people wear green and gold?
No, it's called the Green and Gold Gala, but it's really just a fun party night. It's hard to find good-looking dresses. I have 2 green dresses in my closet, and I don't really love either of them. And gold is not a good color on me.
I got gold earrings for the event, but I'm still deciding what I'm going to put with them.
Yeah. I mean, I think if you could wear green and gold, and I'm sure some people did. There was one guy there that had on like I don't know. It may have been a Packers suit, because, you know, Gallatin High School has the same.
Brian Cook.
Yes.
Amy with Casa. I think it probably is Packers, but it's also Green Wave.
Gallatin High School and the Green Bay Packers have the same G in the circle, and our helmets look like theirs. And so he had a suit entirely of green and gold and that G. It was something.
Green with pride.
So yes, you can wear green and gold and have your picture made with Brian.
Perfect.
And I'll be wearing like some muted beige or something, or black. But yeah, so those are some of the events coming up. Hey, we really appreciate you guys sticking with us on this Baker and Brown journey. We appreciate your comments, your questions, sending us materials. Remind us again of that address.
Baker+Brown at gallatintn.org.
Send those ideas, suggestions, pictures, comments, nice list nominations. Send those to us. We're going to keep trying to do this and keep bringing good information to our community. As I was explaining to somebody the other day, we're doing this because we want the people who live here to feel like true stakeholders in our community. And to be a true stakeholder, you have to know what's going on. You have to get a feel for who's doing what and how you can participate. So this is truly a labor of love for us. None of us. I don't love being on camera. Kim doesn't mind it so much.
No, I don't really love it either. I haven't watched any of these episodes.
I hate to watch myself on camera, and I have a background in it. But we're doing it because we care about Gallatin. We think this is a good way to communicate, and we really do appreciate all of you who are watching and saying supportive things and sharing the information. So we're going to see you next week when we do Baker and Brown again.
Have a good week.